Hey, let's make something. Today, it's a d20 with a mushroom diorama inside. This is a piece of resin that I cast for a different project, and I'm using it here as a base. I'm using cosclay to sculpt this mushroom, and this is all going to be sculpted and then cast in silicone, so the end result will be resin. So any materials I want to use, it won't affect the final die. Materials like gravel. The nice thing about natural shapes like mushrooms is you don't have to be very exact. And it helps to look at pictures of mushrooms while you work. The stuff that looks like glue that I'm using is just liquid Sculpey, so it bonds all the polymer clay together in the oven. And I did check periodically with my half mold that I've made to make sure all this would fit inside the d20. I made all the caps standard, and then I realized I wanted one of them to be sort of overblown and curled up at the edges, so that's what you see me doing there. And the spots on a toadstool are actually little bits of a protective skin before the mushroom broke free, so that's why I'm adding them as separate little pieces. Now the silicone mold. This is just cheap silicone I got online. Dragon Skin is a great brand if you want good quality silicone that won't tear at the edges, but this is good for a lot of simple jobs. And some black dye in resin. It's good to tint your resin whatever color you want to be the undercolor of a design, a sculpture. That saves you a step. And now that it's cured, it's a perfect replica of my sculpture. edges are a little rough at the bottom, so I trim those. And now I'm just using acrylic paint to make everything look like a real set of toadstools. What's nice about the black base is if you don't quite get paint into all the shadowy areas, that's fine, no one can tell. If you mix acrylic paint with water and a little bit of soap, it will break the surface tension and it will sink into all those little cracks and crevices in something small like this. A few touch-ups. There, looking more realistic already. But I think we need some greenery. I'm just using a few different artificial plants and some real dried ferns. I love how well different textures show up inside a die. I'm casting this in a blank first because it's easier to fit it into the blank mold, which has a bigger opening at the top. So all the space will be filled in with clear resin. popping some surface bubbles with a flame. And then it's going to go into the pressure pot to make sure there's no bubbles. All cured the next day. And now it's the right shape, but no numbers. And you can't see it very well because the faces of the blank mold have not been smoothed and polished. But now it's time for that final layer. That extra piece there, that's to make sure if the mold isn't full enough that it has resin to draw in rather than leaving air bubbles. Oh, it came out just like I wanted. But of course, that top face is very rough now. So it needs to be sanded and then polished with a polishing paper. It's getting there. You can see inside a little bit better now. But this step, polishing in a polishing drum, will really get it nice and shiny. Now the last step, making sure the numbers are visible. I decided gold was like a classic fairy tale kind of look. And they get one coat, and then they dry, and then they get another coat. And then there's little bits of paint still stuck on the faces, so a very smooth polishing paper to make sure you get rid of any extra paint. And now all done. I'm really happy with this one. And because I have that mold, I'm able to cast more mushrooms. Like this one. I decided to go with an underdark sort of look, very sparkly and blue. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey of mushroom dice.